Okay, my name is Marlyn Miller. My profession was I joined the Navy in 1986 and I retired in 2007. And now I'm a federal employee working with the Navy with the Naval ROTC programs at University of Idaho and Washington State University. For me personally, it's my health has gone downhill in the last 4 or 5 years. Prior, when I was in Natsugi, I was sick the whole time I was there. My wife and daughter were always getting sick. We would always get fevers, 105, 106, and then we were constantly getting spinal taps, trying to figure out what was wrong with us. And they could never figure it out. And of course, they knew what was going on, but we didn't at the time. From there, once I left there, all my symptoms went away for about 2 years, and then in 2000 they all came back. So we left Japan in 1997. In 2000, I started getting shortness of breath, coughs, fatigue, headaches, and then from there it just slowly progressed. And in 2006, I started getting seizures, twitching, TIAs, liver, kidney problems, breathing problems. And I used to work out eight times a week, sometimes more. I would ride my bicycle, and when I moved here in Pullman in 2004, I'd ride from here to Moscow, which is about 12 miles from work, ride my bike there, ride it back, plus at lunchtime workout. So my whole Navy career, and also prior to the Navy, I was always active, marathons, hiking, camping, you name it. I was working out at least 5, 6 times a week. And now I have a hard time. I can't even ride a bike. I can't even drive sometimes. Long distances, I definitely can't drive. Again, fatigue. I have a hard time just trying to work a normal 8-hour day. Okay, where this happened at was that in Atsugi, Japan. The incinerator was owned by a company there in Japan, and both U.S. military and the Japanese government, they were burning all kinds of chemical waste. A lot of it was dioxins to mercury, lead, and you name it. It was just waste that produced all these different chemicals that were lethal. And at the base itself, the smokestacks were only about 20 meters above housing and above ground from where it was at. So the smoke would come right through the housing area almost every day. And it got to the point where you couldn't breathe, you had to stay indoors. And during the whole time we were there, the Navy was doing testing, and they started testing back in 1988, and they already confirmed that there were high levels of dioxins, which is famously known as Agent Orange, from PCPs in the water to cadmium, and you name it. There's hundreds. There was over 246 different chemicals, and the majority of these lethal chemicals exceeded by hundreds of times the US EPA maximum exposure levels. So we were being exposed to more higher levels than those of Vietnam for Agent Orange, and it is shown just with all the deaths and the people with cancer, and just this week alone I found 2 more people that have come down with cancer from this, and it was children. So actually they're probably in their early 20s though right now. But again, because it takes a couple of decades before you actually get ill from this. And finally we got the Veterans Committee. They actually took all our information that we gathered with all the hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but close to 100,000 families that are ill out there, dying of cancer, the children that are dying of cancer. And we got all that compiled, all the evidence of the chemicals and what the levels were. And once we got all that together, because the Navy was denying any involvement or even knowing about it, or there was even any exposures at all. And they were actually trying to, falsifying their documents, forging paperwork, withholding of information on FOIA. And it's taken us a while, plus to contact people. They try to prevent us from contacting families, and also threatening families. If they talked about it, they would drop them from health care or whatever. It was really bad. And for active duty military, and even myself, when I first started this campaign, I literally had the Master Chief of the Navy call me at my office and also call my commanding officer basically trying to get me to stop pursuing this case. I mean, because they're trying to strong arm me, and that's what happens with the military. And I have a lot of captains, even a couple admirals that they've lost children now from this, from cancers. And I mean, we've got hundreds of people now that have already died or got documented. And out of about 3,000 families, 100% of them are ill. Talking with the Navy and trying to get help from them, and they're basically like, nope. And so, well, what about all these families are ill? Their thing is we don't want to hear from them. They don't exist. Don't even have them contact us because we're not acknowledging anything. So what we did then is we contacted the Veterans Committee, Patty Murray. The one I was really working with was Senator Akaka, and he was the chairman of the Veterans Committee, and he's the one who really helped us out in getting this bill passed. We presented him with our website and all the documentation of all the different levels of chemicals we were exposed to. We also gave him all the US EPA levels and also other agencies that did testing. We gave him all those reports. We also gave him what the Navy had, which was falsified reports, and showed him, hey, these were the differences. And so we actually got certified copies of all this stuff and give it to him. He presented that to the Senate, and from there they presented the bill. Okay, right now it's at the House. And in the way it looks right now, it's not going to get passed because there's not enough senators that are willing to step up and actually say, okay, yes, this is a worthy cause, and we need to take care of these families and also the veterans that served our country, and actually give them or get them medical care and acknowledge what happened to them. And they don't want to do that. And I'm not bitter. I just wish they would resolve it and just come clean and just do what's right to help the people. Well, my main thing was be for the military. One is to step up, take responsibility. You always talk about taking responsibility. Well, now it's you had a chance, and the time is now. Step up, take responsibility, admit to the harm that you've done to the families, and help them, treat them, try to make their lives as comfortable as possible. And with Congress, the President, I mean, all of them. I mean, I know President Obama. He doesn't know. Probably he knows a little bit about this because he's been told about it. But again, I mean, I want them to be able to step up. Don't worry about your career, because that's why you're there. You're there for the people, not because the people are there for you. No, you're there for the people. You need to help the people, and right now the people need your help. Pass this bill, get it through Congress, get it through the House, and get it as a bill so the President can sign it.